no time to talk. Music loud and women warm. I've been kicked around since I was born. Now it's alright and it's okay, and you may look the other way, but we can try to understand the New York Times effect on man. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive. Through the city breaking and everybody shaking, people staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive.
Welcome, my fellow ecstatic elves and awesome angels we have heard on high, like to Golden Ticket Reviews, where if it's naughty or nice, you see through it, I review it. I'm your somewhat surprised Secret Santa, Brandon the Bambi Man, and Merry Christmas to you! Although if you don't celebrate the holiday season, well, I hope you're having a good December regardless. A while back I mentioned I'd be doing a Christmas review poll and gave you guys 6 choices of Christmas specials that I could talk about. And apparently by a slight margin, the winning special of said poll was none other than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. No, not that one. That's the sequel we don't talk about. Wait, what even is that? No, today we'll be looking at the original 1964 Rudolph special done by the iconic animation studio Rankin. It's based on the equally iconic poem written in 1939 by Robert Earl May, which in turn became a holiday staple of a song made famous by Johnny Marks, who was actually May's brother-in-law. The more you know, I guess. However, considering it's based on such a simple yet endearing holiday song, this obviously means there had to be many additions included in order to stretch it out to a full 60-minute television runtime. Well, okay, that's kinda true. I mean, the special itself only lasts 50 minutes without commercials. And there have also been certain elements about it that have gotten changed or cut as the years have gone on. Seriously, does anyone even remember that Fame and Fortune song that wound up being replaced in later TV airings and home media releases of this thing by We're a Couple of Misfits? Yeah, that happened. Anyway, song changes or not, Rudolph tells the charming tale of a lovable fawn with a special nose that may or may not have a light bulb inside it, who despite being bullied his whole young life winds up going on a strange adventure complete with unique acquaintances, misfit toys, and a cuddly snow creature that somehow leads to him eventually flying high in the sky with Santa and being the hero who saved a Christmas that nearly wasn't. Well, that sounds reasonably normal to me, I don't know about you. So let's dive into Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and see if it holds up despite its oddness. Its wonderful, wonderful oddness. Wonderful, wonderful... oddness. Hey, suspect, you might want to wake him up.
I'm just gonna leave him there.
Suit yourself. Let's start off with the plot. Although, seeing how practically most of you, or maybe everyone watching this video, knows about this special, it almost seems needless to talk about what the story entails. But this is a review after all, so let's dive into it. Sam the Snowman, played by legendary singer-actor Burl Ives, narrates to us the tale of Rudolph, the young buck to one of Santa Claus's leading reindeer, Donner, and his wife, Mrs. Donner. Yeah, she's not given her own name. We'll get to that later. Maybe not. We'll see. As the title implies, Rudolph is born with a nose that glows red, the same color of roses, apples, and Satan. His father does his best to hide this nonconformity, but it eventually is found out by the other reindeer who do their best to pick on Rudy Boy mercilessly because of it. Even though there is one doe named Clarice who finds that Rudolph is, in her own words, cute in his own right. Sometime later though, our young dear friend meets Hermie, a toy-making elf who wants to be a dentist.
But I don't need anybody. I'm independent.
Well, clearly we know what his favorite Kelly Clarkson song is. Behind these hazel eyes. Considering their shared misfit non-nitwit ways, the two of them decide to run away, which in turn leads to them meeting this eccentric prospector named Yukon Cornelius, who honestly looks like a cross between Stinky Pete and the Duke from Moulin Rouge. He assists these two by helping them escape the dreaded Bumble snow monster of the north, and together they soon all find themselves washed up on an island of misfit toys, run by a king who also happens to be a lion.
Something tells me this ain't the traveling company of Riverdale.
Eventually, Rudolph realizes he needs to go back home to his clearly worried folks, and his friends follow suit. Everything gets resolved, naturally, but the largest snowstorm this side of Alaska hits, leading to Santa almost canceling Christmas, until he remembers Rudolph's shiny snout, and has him lead the team's way through not John Carpenter's fog, and the misfit toys get to fly in the sleigh, and everyone has a holly jolly holiday. Sadly, none of the reindeer or Santa ran into Mary Poppins and her magical umbrella.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
Like I said at the start of this, it's definitely a strange plot. And if you look at this story compared to the more easy-to-follow poem and or song, it's not hard to find most of the crazy elements as pure filler. Luckily though, the things included that weren't a part of May's poem and Mark's tune just add to the special's overall charm, at least to me. Your mileage may vary. Also, I think the special contains a sweet message of self-acceptance and looking past your own unique quirks and really just being who you are and not letting anyone put you down because you may be different from them. A lesson we could definitely use more often in the real world. The characters are also quite memorable in their own right. Burlive's Sam the Snowman is a warm and comforting narrator, Rudolph is an adorable protagonist who is easy to root for, and Hermie makes for the perfect sidekick with his positive nature/attitude. Yukon is Yukon. Don't know what I can add to that. The other supporting characters have their own quirks as well, both positive and negative. Clarice is a likable love interest who is able to appreciate Rudy for what he is. Santa and Mrs. Claus, while not being up to the same level as Chris and Jessica, are enjoyable for being the animated equivalent to one of those married couples from that sitcom you watched a lot of either as a kid or adult. There's also other characters I can mention like the Bumble, the Misfit Toys, one of whom kinda sounds like Ed Wynn for some reason.
Who are you?
I'm the official sentry of the island of misfit toys.
And I hope you're having a very Merry Christmas and on birthday. Their noble leader, King Moonracer, the reindeer who make fun of Rudolph, along with Coach Comet, the head elf.
Why weren't you at elf practice?
You know I had to throw it in somewhere, come on. Then you have the Donners. While Mrs. Donner is nice enough, Mr. Donner is quite a wild card, starting off the story wanting to keep his son's glowing nose a secret, but after that bumble-filled journey he took to find his lost son and finding out that his red muzzle would actually be used to save the day in the end, he's like, it's cool.
Daddy, I don't like it.
You'll like it and wear it.
Oh, but Daddy, it's not very comfortable.
There are more important things than comfort. Self-respect. Santa can't object to you now. I knew that nose would be useful someday. I knew it all along.
Of course you did, baby. Now tell me, why are you wearing that fake nose underneath your legs? Come on, honey, I told you already, it's a cup. Have you seen the weather outside? I need to keep my special area warm. Then I can show you a little Christmas love when we get home. Boy, that's gotta be the most risque joke I've told on this show. The animation carries this classic ricketiness that many other stop-motion projects would try to recreate decades and decades later. To modern audiences, maybe this would be seen as dated, but I still enjoy its bizarre, if a little rigid quality. The songs are a lot of fun as well, with the memorable title song, the cheesy Santa's Elves number, and Jingle Jingle Jangle. The only tune that I don't think adds much is Silver and Gold, but I still sings the tune well enough that it doesn't bother me. It's cool enough, no pun intended. Granted, there are some aspects of the special that may seem a little wrong by today's standards, mostly the phrasing in some of the narration parts.
Mrs. Donner wanted to go along, naturally, but Donner said, "No, this is man's work." But they realized that the best thing to do is to get the women back to Christmas Town.
Boy, those lines have aged about as well as fine wine dumped into a trash can filled with pickled pig's feet. Still though, considering the time period when this originally came out, I'm willing to forgive it for that. Plus, it's hard to get angry at Burlives. I mean, look at him. He's like a human teddy bear. Overall, while this special certainly has its misfit moments, I think it has its heart and hooves in the right place, and it manages to still shine bright to this day. There's a good reason why Rudolph is considered a Christmas staple amidst all the Charlie Brown Christmases and Grinches of the television world. It has a sweet message about self-acceptance. The animation, while not glamorous, certainly has its charm. The characters are all memorable, and it has a great soundtrack. It's a special that managed to put Rankin Bass on the map as far as Christmas specials go, and I'd easily say it is well worth its place in both holiday and TV history. What more can I say other than it's a holly jolly good time all around. And thus ends my video review cycle of 2018. Thank you all so much for watching. I had an absolute blast this year, not just through doing these reviews, but also doing some of my first video essays. Both of them on Wes Anderson movies. What a nice coincidence. I cannot thank you all enough for supporting me this year. Here's hoping that 2019 can be even better and brighter. Until next time, I'm the Bambi Man, reminding you to take care of yourselves, and have a very merry holiday season and a happy new year. See you around the Christmas tree, guys. Bambi Man out. Peace!
I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer.
Well, alright. Tastes like a weird mixture of gummy berry juice, Granny Smith's apples, and just a sprinkle of cotton candy.